Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to be talking about the goddess aspect of religion and spirituality. There might be some things that are very controversial here, but for me, I've really embraced the goddess in my life, and I really like having that feminine aspect to my spiritual path. So if you want to listen and hear from my experiences and hear from my thoughts, it's just my opinion. There's no right way or wrong way. I often say when people question me about religion or spirituality, which is the right path, which isn't, I've talked to priests and ministers alike, as well as many lay people. But often I get asked, especially in the Christian world, you know, do you feel you're going down the right path? That there's some judgment that happens, and that's okay, because I know my path is slightly different than most people's. But I think more and more I'm finding that there's other women out there that want to experience this spiritual path as well, because it's very empowering for the female aspect. But I often say we're all climbing up the same mountain. It's just some of us are going to take different paths than the other. And there's no wrong way or right way to go up this mountain. So whatever feels right to you, or whatever is a good way for you to go, then go that way. If it brings you peace, if it makes you happier, if it brings you comfort, if it makes you be a better person out in the world, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, I'm coming from a very strong female background, but also I was raised Roman Catholic, very strict Roman Catholic, and I found it a very patriarchal kind of religion. And from a very young age, I wanted to immerse myself in my spirituality. And what I found was doors kept getting shut on me as far as, but you're female, this is how far you can go. And I didn't feel like I could fully immerse myself. I love my religion, Roman Catholic. I'm also Native American. So I've kind of gone both sides kind of thing. And I've explored many spiritual paths and religions. Not to say I'm an expert on any of them. But I love the ritual of the Catholic Church. I just don't like the patriarchy that's very heavily immersed in there, or in there. However, I am very happy to have found the Virgin Mary, because she is that sort of goddess female aspect of that particular religion, of the Catholic religion. And I find, for the most part, like I was saying, there were a lot of doors that were shut on me, because even as a little girl, I actually wanted to be a priest, not realizing that girls can't be priests. and there was door after door being shut on me, as far as this is how far you can go because you're female, kind of thing. And I, as I've grown up, I found that as women, a lot of our functions, even physically, are seen as dirty and unclean and something to be shamed for, or shameful about, and to keep it undercover and to keep it secret. Everything from our first periods and menstruation to giving birth to menopause, even things including rape and abortion. I'm going to go into those darker places because they are very female based, and it affects our bodies more so than anyone else. I mean, yes, the father, when it comes to abortion, the father is involved, definitely. However, it is our body that is going through that. So, like I said, a lot of our female functions have been sort of told, we've been raised with the idea that it's sort of something we keep quiet. So what I'm going to talk about first in this goddess path is dancing. And I know that seems like a weird tangent to go to, but and I'm going to draw from many different paths. I've kind of taken a little bit from everything, from Native American to Buddhist to Roman Catholic to Christian, and put it all kind of together. I kind of take a Bruce Lee approach, take the best of everything and make it a whole new wonderful thing. But what I really am stressing in my spiritual path is following my mother line, because very much we have followed our father line. That's where we get our last names from. And I've been studying a lot of matriarchal or matrilineal customs and cultures. And actually the Mohawks are a matrilineal background, or culture, I mean. And also ways for our heart to heal our womb. There's so much attack on our womb. So this is sort of encompassing everything we're going to be doing or everything I'm going to be talking about. And what I want, like I said, what I want to talk about first is dance and why we need to dance and why dancing is so healing. Because when you dance, you feel good, of course, and we kind of instinctively know it's a happy thing, you know. They've even shown in Alzheimer's patients and people that are getting older and whatnot that dance really helps to cause the brain to function at a higher level. It also increases physicality, because maybe that person can't move very well, and then they put music on and suddenly they can dance. And I've noticed it too myself. So there are many, many benefits for dance. And one of the first steps in the Goddess spiritual path is to become part of your body, to really live in your body. Because as women, often we're disconnected. We want to disconnect. We want to not experience. We do everything to not experience, right? Right from the Midol that we take to ease the pain of periods, to the epidurals when we're going through birth. And I know all these things are painful, you know, who wants to go through that pain, but that is a form of disconnecting from our bodies. I'm not saying don't take the epidural, but just food to think on, right? And so why we need to dance. And the fact that, you know, painful periods aren't supposed to be a normal thing. Painful births, yes, births have always been painful and messy, and that's okay. But painful periods aren't a normal thing, and this is, as a society, what we've forgotten about. And part of it is because we've disconnected from that part of ourselves. So our bodies actually manifest energy patterns. And when we have anger and fear, anxiety, rage, deep grief, it does, it manifests into our body and into our blood, into our bones, into our muscles, into our bone marrow, into our joints. And the thing with dance is dance allows us to take those emotions and move it through our bodies. I have fibromyalgia and very severe arthritis in certain parts of my body, because I used to be an esthetician and it's very physical work and a masseuse. So my body's paid the price for those jobs. But I do find that when I have a really bad day, physically speaking, if I put some music on, I can start to move a little better. So it helps on that physical realm, but it also helps with the emotional aspect of things, and that then moves into other areas for us. Because what that does is when we take an emotion on, grief, anger, rage, disappointment, hurt, betrayal, whatever it might be, anxiety, we manifest it physically and it starts to come through physically. And what it does when we manifest it that way, and it always comes into our body, what we're doing by not releasing those emotions is we're creating blocks in our lives. So when women begin this process, this transformational process, it's a process of conscious self-love. Dancing is self-love. And you'll find that when you start to dance more, you become self-confident. partly because you're learning how to move your body. And sometimes, even if you've danced in the past, if you've taken dance lessons, I've taken tap lessons since I was 3, or, you know, I did hip hop or whatever. I mean, I can actually say I took a disco class. So I'm dating myself a little bit there. Yes, I took a dance class on disco when I was younger because it was the hot thing. But what happens is we're coming home into our bodies and we're allowing those emotions to rise up. And that's okay. Make dance that spiritual thing. Allow that anxiety to come out. Allow the fear to bubble up to the surface. Because what you can do is you can physically dance it out of your body. So the voices are... So I'm talking a little bit here about the voices that we sometimes hear in our heads, like the monkey mind, as I call it, or, you know, the itty bitty shitty committee. That's a friend of mine uses that one. And it's the one that tells us that you can't do this, you're silly for thinking you're enough, and you know, don't be too beautiful, don't be too powerful, people won't like you if you're too much of anything. Who are you to think you can do this? Those kind of voices that come into our heads. So in the past, when we've stepped outside the patriarchal boundaries, we've been burned, we've been beaten, we've been put in asylums. So this is right now very much a time when the goddess energy is really rising. I know it feels like weird times right now. This is part of the birthing process. So while we're in quarantine, so this kind of is going to date this video because people are going to know when this happened. While we're doing this, it's very important to keep moving and dancing. Just having a little dance party by yourself. You don't have to have people, or, you know, you're not up on a stage. No one's judging you. Just have a little dance party by yourself to keep your energy flowing, to release some of the fear and anxiety, especially around this time in the world. And those voices that talk in your head that tell you aren't good enough or smart enough or beautiful enough or too much of this and not enough of that. What these are, they're expressions of our inner selves in a lot of ways, and we need to kind of learn how to transform the message. We don't need to repress them. We don't need to destroy them. We need to transform the message. And that's the difference. Because a lot of people say, well, you know, I tell myself I'm not good enough and blah, 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 so I need to stop that, right? And how do I stop that? Well, you let that flow. It's very much like meditation. And this dancing is a form of meditation. It's a moving meditation. So this is very good for people that feel like I can't stay still, my mind keeps spinning, I can't do meditation. Dancing is a form of meditation. And what it is it's a very physical meditation, and it allows those emotions to be worked through physically and danced out of your body and transformed. So again, you know, allow those inner fears to come forward as opposed to trying to brush them aside or trying to destroy them. Allow them to come forward and transform that message. Transform it as opposed to repressing or destroying it. It will be so much easier to move through it when you do it that way. So you're changing the message slowly, right? So instead of saying I'm not good enough, you might say something, well, I'm working on this and I'm getting better. I'm getting better and better every single day. Every day I get a little bit better. Those kind of things start to come forward as opposed to I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect enough, I'm too much of this, I'm too little of that sort of thing. So it's allowing that energy to flow through. And you become enthusiastic when you start to dance. Enthusiasm is a form of energy, and you want that. Enthusiasm comes from the Latin words, and I think this is very cool. Enthusiasm is it comes from the Latin words divine energy within. So be enthusiastic about everything in your life, because that's your divine energy within that you're embracing that with. Embrace that with enthusiasm. Like I say in one of my previous videos, I talk about one of the most powerful phrases. There's a couple of powerful phrases you can use. One of the most powerful phrases you can do or say is I get to. And you fill it in with whatever you want. And it's not always I get to do this fun thing I want to do, but it's I get to do this mundane thing I don't want to do. But what you're doing by saying I get to is you're bringing enthusiasm to whatever that task or job or situation is. You know, I get to have a visit with my grumpy aunt. Or I don't have any grumpy aunts, by the way. Or just saying that in case my aunts are watching. Or I get to do the laundry, or I get to clean the toilet. You know, even the mundane things, you're bringing enthusiasm to it, and you're bringing divine energy to that task, which makes it easier to do. It makes it better. You're serving yourself and others even in the mundane, and you're raising the mundane to that sacred level. And that's when things start to unblock and transform and just click right into place. So that's why you want to bring enthusiasm. And I don't mean fake enthusiasm. By saying the words or the phrase, I get to blank, whatever you want to say, you're changing your brain. It's almost like when you smile, even if you're not feeling happy, your brain clicks in and goes, she's happy about this. She's bringing enthusiasm to this. Okay, let's go clean that toilet. Okay, let's go do that laundry. And it brings that energy, that divine energy to it. And it gives you actually more energy to be able to do those things. So like transforming, when we dance, what we do are we're transforming our energy of dullness, of blockage, of deadness, of numbness, into new life. Because have you gone through life? Are you feeling that sort of, I'm floating, I'm not sure where I'm at, I'm feeling a little, flaky, I can't concentrate, I get distracted easily, I can't make decisions. That's all part of anxiety and fear, right? And then, then you're creating blockages. And then sometimes you can even feel a bit of a numbness to life, a dullness, a lack of enthusiasm, that sort of thing. So dance helps to start that faucet of enthusiasm, because you always feel better after you move when you've danced, right? And dancing is unlike working out. Like when you're working out on a treadmill, boom, 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 you feel good, but you're tired, which is fine. And you've sort of trudged it out. Like, I gotta get this done, right? But when you dance is more than just movement. Dance is a spiritual act of meditation and of expressing emotions. It's an art, it's a beauty, and it's a full expression of yourself. So what you're doing when you're dancing is you're experiencing that goddess energy. You're bringing the goddess out in you and bringing it into you. You can also sing or chant. You can drum. That's another form of bringing the goddess energy out. You can do rattles or bells. I do my violin, so you can do violin. Perhaps piano works as well. Not a piano player. Love to be, but I'm not. But what you're doing is you're waking up. When you dance, you're waking up and becoming consciously connected to the fullness and beauty of your own unique self. Especially if you just let yourself go. You can go into trance much easier from dance than from meditation. And you're becoming aware of how good it is to be a woman and to be in your body. So each time we move into the transformational life dance, as I call it, we experience the fear of the unknown. Because it's a little bit, weird at first to just be dancing in your living room. Maybe you're doing a little bit of the Elaine dance, like you're a little bit stiff. You're also bringing out the unknown of who am I, the fear of being foolish. You're bringing that out when you first dance, and that's awesome. You know, it's okay to feel a little foolish at first because you're in your living room and God forbid anyone will peek in and see you doing your weird dance or getting really into the music. Experience that foolishness and learn to let it go through the art of dance and through the movement of dance. What can also come up is I'm not enough, because that goes hand in hand sort of with the foolishness. If someone sees, are they going to think, boy, she's a weird dancer? And that's okay. Even if you're an Elaine dancer, that's fine. Do it. Do it. What you're doing when you do this life dance is you're physicalizing your fear, and you're letting it come through your body. And that's a good thing because your body's manifesting it. And you're instead of letting it freeze within your body. When you have stiff parts of your body, it could be your hips, it could be a knee, it could be a back muscle, you know, whatever it might be that's a little bit stiff, that's where you've allowed that fear or that an anxiety to manifest in your body. And when you're dancing, you know, you get a little more limber and you can move a little easier. What you're doing is you're releasing that out of your body, and you're allowing it to go away so it doesn't block your growth or your creativity anymore. Giving physical expression to your fears teaches you that energy is connected to other emotions that are also waiting for you to reconnect to them. Because what it does is it clears away all the debris and allows you to then really experience other emotions. Like I said, that's why you can go into trance sometimes. And you need to give physical expression to your emotional self. Giving physical expression is actually way more effective than talking about your emotions. Talking about your feelings and your emotions is great. However, physically dancing them out is even better and gets rid of them faster, and releases them faster. So one quote I really like here is, I am a woman giving birth to myself, and through dance you can do that. I experience my body through the sacredness of my own life. I find myself pushing through dark tunnels of shame, perfectionism, and insecurity. It is messy work giving birth, as we all know. But then you begin to discover a light coming forth within you. At times it is experienced as deep forgiveness and nurturing that makes your body feel crystal clear. It's also a really great way to clear your chakras as well. Dancing is. Sometimes, you know, when you're dancing, you can imagine yourself doing things. You can imagine yourself flying. I've done dances where all I'm doing is flying, and I'm flying. I'm a big eagle or hawk over in the sky. Sometimes I'm flying in water, or not flying in water, but immersed in water, and I'm swimming through the water and dancing that way. So you can experience the dance any way you like. And with each breakthrough, you encounter and recognize the mystery of the goddess within your own being. In the words of Arishka Razak, here's a quote that I really like. Remember the beauty and sacredness of your woman body. And remember that no matter how your personal body is shaped, whether it is abundant, I like that word, or slight, somewhere in the world, a goddess is venerated who looks just like you. So you are the goddess dancing, because all of us look like some form of the goddess, because there's many of them out there. The essence of the divine is mystery. The encounter with mystery is found for us in entering the movement of life, and that's what dance is. dance is the body movement, and it is a spiritual path, or a form of spiritual path. And on this path, the mystery is hidden, not in a golden tabernacle or behind a veiled cloth. It is hidden in your muscles, in your blood, in your breath. Body movement works. Body movement work brings new meaning to the words, "This is my body. This is my blood, given for the life of all," which is often said at Mass. So this path does involve choosing to love your woman's body and expressing that through dance. And not only your body, but your mind and your spirit and all the parts of your femininity. It's transformative work, definitely. And it's truly experiencing that I am a woman of the universe. So dance meditation, it's very cool because once you start, I always say just start with swaying. Be the elephant swaying. Elephants tend to just sway their trunks, right? You can do that. You can get down and dirty after that, whatever you want to do. Your body will know what to do. And just start with the sway. And your body will know where to go and what to move. And you'll find things are moving much easier. Your body knows where the tension is knotted and where the blocks are obstructing your energy. And that's the beauty of your body, is that it cannot lie. Our lips can lie, our minds can lie to us, but our bodies cannot. And that's why when you take on an emotion or an experience or situation, you physically manifest that experience or that emotion. And when you're constantly experiencing, say, anxiety, for instance, over and over and over again, it will start to manifest itself noticeably physically. At first, you might not notice it. But then you might start noticing you're getting more headaches, you're stiff in certain places, you can't move, much like depression as well. Depression is very much, you're thinking about it, you're in that state, your mind is telling you lies, but your body is not. It's starting to manifest physically, and your body is like making you sleep more, making you not move as much, making you feel stiffer, that sort of thing. That's all physical manifestation of those emotions and situations and whatnot. So your body can't lie. It's incapable of lying. A lot of people don't realize that. It's the ultimate truth teller and the ultimate oracle. So by dancing, what you're allowing is that openness to happen, that healing, that forgiveness, that releasing of those emotions that need to be released, of the blockages that need to be released. And you let yourself be danced. That's what I really love. When you like I said, you start with swaying, put your favorite music on. It doesn't have to be meditative music. Just put your favorite music on and start swaying to it. Feel the beat, immerse yourself in the music. And one way I find that's really good to do that is putting headphones on. Because then you're in the music. And if you can find wireless headphones, that's beautiful. When I found my wireless headphones, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because now I can immerse myself. I mean, don't do it to the point of ear damage, obviously. But because with the headphones, you kind of feel a little more surrounded by the music, and you can get more into the rhythm and the beats and the melodies of the song or the music or whatever. And you'll find that you can then be danced by the music, and your body will just go just do silly movements. It doesn't have to be all choreographed, and it doesn't have to, you're not out on stage being judged on some TV show or anything. This is for you. This is your spiritual meditative moment to let go and release those emotions, those blockages, and to allow forgiveness and openness to come in, to really connect, knowing that you are a goddess. Like the quote said, whether you're abundant or slight, you are mimicking a goddess, or becoming a goddess somewhere in the world, because there are a lot of them, and some of them are abundant and some of them are slight. There's all shapes and sizes, and some songs will have you being soft, and others will have you being very aggressive. And you're feeling powerful. So dance, my friends, dance. It will help get us through this difficult time. It will help release some of those emotions that maybe we're feeling because we've been cooped up. And it takes you to a different level than just plain old exercise. Exercise is great, don't get me wrong. Exercise is very good. But dancing is physically, emotionally, and spiritually very good for you. So try out a dance meditation today. See how it goes. Become the goddess that you are. Okay, that's all I got for now. Bye.